Hello, and welcome to episode 77 of the Cutie Art Crusaders for December 24th, 2013. Merry Christmas Eve. Is it Merry or Happy Christmas Eve? I don't know.
Happy Christmas to the UKers and Merry Christmas to everyone else.
And the Australianites. Anyways, my name is Rainbow Plasma. I'm the organizer of this podcast, and today I'm joined by...
Burn1, and I'm the special guest coordinator, and this week I'll be the editor.
I'm Flutterguy317, and I am the media manager for the podcast.
I'm Atmos Spark. I do all the work.
It's true.
It's true. It's true.
You're a bum.
So, lots of news this week, so let's get it out of the way. I hate my life because today is sucked, but it's also Christmas Eve, so I have to be really happy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get complaining out of the way, and then I get to be happy. Fair enough?
Okay. Yeah, get your rant out of the way.
I just drove for 6 hours because I'm visiting family. So naturally, I drive for what should be 4 hours, but ended up being 6 hours because the weather sucks so much. So drove for 6 hours, immediately got here, and as all parent internet work, parent internet is classic in that it never works. So yeah, I spent half an hour doing that and a bunch of other stuff like that. So today's been fun. It's basically wake up and then blah. But yeah, I'm here now. Unfortunately, my delay has caused Mr. Atmospark to have to go about halfway through. I apologize for that. Again.
I blame Bond.
We'll miss you.
I blame Burn too. I feel like we can relate.
What did I do?
Didn't you do?
I mean,
Anyways, yeah.
You're sick, so...
I've only ever wanted your love.
Oh. Yeah, Burn's got a bit of a cold,
Yeah.
so...
Well,
I'm
it's a Christmas
snuffly.
tradition.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Stupid
last year it was an
Christmas.
anomaly. Now, last year we had our Christmas episode, and Bird was sick, of course. You can go back and watch the 26th episode.
Well, last year during Christmas, I was taking a road trip to Arizona and then dying of sickness and along the entirety of the way in the car, which was awful and did not help, made it worse.
It's too bad you
But
weren't...
this Christmas, I'll be able to die at home, so that'll be nice.
It's too bad you weren't going to Oregon and dying of dysentery.
Yeah. Well, this year we
I was
decided
technically still dying on the road back, so...
Aw.
we decided this year to split up the responsibilities. So I would do the driving, and he would get sick.
Hooray.
Yeah. Aw.
Burned, always getting the short side of the stick.
Anyways, Merry Christmas Eve, or whatever the heck you call it, to everyone out there. I hope everyone is having a good holidays, better than both of us are currently having. But I'm sure it'll be fine by the time that this comes out. Tuesday is going to roll around, and we're both going to be peppy and happy, I bet.
Oh, yeah, you're going to forget all about this, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Burn's not.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even get holidays, so I'd be happy.
You don't?
I'm working
Why
straight
not?
through. I get Christmas Day off and I get Boxing Day off. But I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
Do you at least getting, extra? That sucks.
It's just normal work days, Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Well, then. Oh, so news was fun.
So I don't know about... Well, I know Atmos Park doesn't have snow because he's in Australia, but I got snow over the week.
I could, stick my head in the freezer or something.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I drove through today.
Yeah.
Bunch of snow.
Yeah. It looks nice now. It's supposed to warm up and, melt all before Christmas, so...
Well, that's what snow is. Snow is nice in theory.
Yeah.
And then you get it in practice, and then you're like, well, no, never mind.
Yeah.
We already had our winter snow, now it's back to rain.
Aw.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
We
you're
had
on the
our
West Coast, so
Yearly 2 inches.
that's nightly for me.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I actually think it hit 3 inches and was like, oh
Whoa,
my gosh, broke records.
whoa.
Then it went back to 1 inch and then it was gone.
Whoa.
My lake froze over for a little while though. It's cool.
Anyways.
So, let's move on to the art, since we are an art podcast.
And
our
since
theme
it is
this week-
Christmas Eve, obviously we're going to,
Christmas
have
episode?
a festive theme this week.
Thank you for bringing that up, by the way.
Well, I was gonna use it to make a joke to transition, but okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, go ahead. Sorry, we ruined that
No,
transition.
no. Go ahead. It's good to
That
bring
was
it
the
up.
worst transition of life.
I know.
It's good to bring it up. It's good to bring it up.
So, next week is our Christmas episode
Yeah.
/ holidays episode. So send in art to our Cutie Art Crusaders at gmail.com email address, and we will be picking some Christmas/holiday/winter themed art for next episode. So
Yes. So make sure to send that stuff in, and we will have that to you next week, not this week.
Right. Because it's not Christmas yet. It's Christmas Eve.
That's true. We haven't hit that point. So, but in the holiday spirit, of course, we have to come up with a theme that would match the mood and the general snowy atmosphere, right, for this week.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, what did we pick, guys?
Snow?
No, we picked Daring Do.
Because
literally the
no
opposite.
sense.
When I think of Daring Do, I think of like jungles and hot weather and everything that isn't today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week for Christmas Eve, we hope you enjoyed this presentation of Daring Do, which has nothing to do with the current date.
Although it does have something to do with a recent episode.
There
you go. So we'll get right into the art. The first piece is called Daring Do, No Turning Back by Stalcry.
Interesting name.
Mm-hmm.
I think this episode contains all people we have never featured before.
I think you're right.
Now that I've made that declaration, it's going to be absolutely not true, but I'm going to make it anyways.
No, I think you're
We
right.
may have featured our last artist before.
Actually, yeah, maybe.
Seems familiar. But yeah, the rest of them are new. The interesting thing was when we were looking through Daring Do art, a lot of them were new artists, which is something that I personally like to do on the show. And Stalcry is definitely one of them. And this piece shows that obviously an artist worthy of the show that we think we would want to feature.
Yeah.
And this one has a really cool color scheme too.
Yes. Yeah, the colors are really phenomenal in this piece. You get the green and kind of in the mid-ground, and this purplish, again going with the whole like cool versus warm colors for lights and shadows and stuff. But you also get the green and the purple that kind of evoke this feeling of like not really anger, but like evil kind of.
Like menacing, do you think?
Yeah, menacing is a good word for it.
Like that
Yeah.
the shadowy figure on the bridge there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even too sure what that is, but it does look cool. Like it could be a changeling, or it could just be one of her things that she fights. And during the episodes, when was this one made? By the way, this was made January 13th. So this is before the Daring Do episode, like the recent Daring Do episode.
The recent one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think most of these actually are before her recent one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of them are.
Which is interesting because there's this whole fan thing happening with Daring Do before it was made canon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The interesting thing that I wanted to bring up about these colors was that it is using yellow in an interesting role, because the piece is full of, like you're mentioning, blues, greens, purples, which are all traditionally thought of as cool colors. And then you've got yellow, which I think is a really interesting color, because obviously any color can be turned into a warm and cold color, as we've demonstrated throughout the last 76 episodes. You know, it's something that depends on the surroundings, really, and that's what defines the color. But I think there's something special about yellow and green in particular that seems to transition between warm and cold just more easily, I suppose. And so in this piece, it's got these interesting. It's like it's taken a chunk of the color wheel and used only those colors, you know, just from purple to yellow. And I think it's come out really interestingly, because it looks almost like a monochromatic scheme, whereas it's obviously not. But it's not. You can't even call it an analogous, because it's not all cold and it's not all similar colors. It's interesting middle ground.
It's I didn't even know, like, are the rocks green, or is the light coming from the outside there green? I mean, I'm not too sure what's going on here, but it's a really cool mix of the colors. It got Daring Do herself is yellow and black hair, but she has that brilliant blue streak in her tail. And then you got coming, I'm assuming, reflected from the water from somewhere behind. But I mean, maybe it looks like it's the reflection from the what is the mirror pool, but I mean, it might not be, but that's what it looks like. It looks like it's the light is coming from the water behind her, which is real cool, and it gives that awesome blue effect, which I love. And then you got all that light coming in from the front, on the water, on the rocks, on the outside, on the green light reflecting onto her. It's all real cool.
Yeah, it blends nicely. Kind of going back to what you were saying, Rainbow Plasma, is if you cut out the mid and the foreground and you just had the background, it would be a completely analogous piece, I would think. Because the background is very... It's not monochromatic, but it's got this very analogous feel to it. There are shadows that are a different color that are more of the purplish sort, but I mean it's almost like there's two different pieces here. You got the background and you got the foreground, and they complement each other, but they're kind of different.
Very similar.
I have a feeling that us four would like to live in a place like this because of that cage hanging from the roof.
God damn.
I'm not a fan of cages.
Not you. Burned.
I wouldn't want to live there then. I can send. This is where I banish Burned whenever he gets on my nerves.
Oh,
that's actually Burned Pony in the background.
Oh.
He's talking.
Burned. Edit a picture of your face onto that pony, just like really tiny in the background, or really big too. That might be funny too.
Yeah.
Forget you guys. This place is pretty.
It is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. It's got. I think the cool thing about this piece too is it's got a lot of depth. You were mentioning before, it's got that split between the foreground and the background, and after that split, even there's more depth with those kind of bridges that go back and back and back, and it really gives this piece a huge separation and a little bit of use of atmospheric perspective actually as you get farther and farther back with those last two bridges, the one at the very top, and then there's like a little faint thing underneath it that's like supposed to be like a last bridge way off in the distance. Great use of atmospheric perspective to give depth there. And it makes it look like it's this huge, long, like ravine or chasm or something.
Burn, something else you can edit. You can edit in, put an overlay on this. This picture makes great use of the rule of thirds. So you can tell.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Well, where Daring to is where her head. If you draw that grid over that overlay, you can see. You have the two. Do the grid overlay. You can understand what I'm talking about. You can see exactly where the focus points are in this piece, and they line up with the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that.
It's really cool. I was talking about it with someone earlier, and it just was forefront of my mind, and I picked it up on this. Perspective is very well done on this as well. Like as it goes further back, it becomes less and less detailed and more bright.
It's also atmospheric perspective.
Atmospheric.
Totes called that before you did. I win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Atmospheric
perspective.
For God's sakes.
Also, if you guys didn't mention, there is a work in progress, steps too. If you guys are interested in checking that out.
Ermagerd did not notice this. That's cool.
Call it a walkthrough. That's funny. That's a great way to put it.
I've never heard of the program they use, Krita.
I love the fact that it immediately goes from like really crudely drawn sketch to like, look, the background is done, and then it does everything else. Yeah. Well, I love those processes.
Yeah.
That is nice though, because it does go from like the sketch, and then it goes from like marriage, major areas of color, major like shapes and areas of color. So like green, blue, yellow, like straight up just like green, blue, yellow, with some like brown in there on the bridge. Yeah. And then it starts adding detail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's always interesting seeing what steps the artist took.
And I mean, when you look at the steps, obviously they got the line work and the sketching in first, but then when it came to the background, that separation of color was immediate. Like the artist said, here's the separation of color. I want this to be this color. I want that to be that color. I want this to be this color. So obviously it was obviously at the forefront of this artist's mind when they were making this piece.
This is what I want.
Well, it's interesting seeing what different artists kind of not really value more, but start with, I guess, because you get the artists that like lay down value, which is obviously very important in a piece. But then you also get some artists that like choose the major colors first in the piece and then kind of tweak the value.
Yeah, I think it's a personal thing. Just what you've learned over the years, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a
It's
personal
more
touch.
of a common digital practice to do the color first, like major areas of color, and then kind of shade from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of like a very like anime thing to do.
Hmm.
And I see a lot more digital artists doing that. And then it's much more traditional, like with like paints and stuff, like physically to do the value first and then put color on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called fat over lean. But
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting actually, because you can still create like beautiful pieces like this, and it does create, definitely it creates a different feel though. It shows like where focus is on value, or focus is on color. So in pieces like this, like the focus is clearly on the color, how bright it is, you know?
Right. Yeah, and you get that a lot in like who is it? Mewball does a lot of like color pieces.
Oh yeah. He starts with the color.
I think so.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of Mewball's work in progresses, and it's always like big areas of color.
Yeah.
And then it's value from there.
And refined down further.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to our next piece, which is called E-I-E-I-E, or something like that. By
All right, come on,
Vest.
you got to yell it. Come on.
I can't do it. No. Like,
That was so worth it.
that's great.
Oh, man.
This artist has a lot of awesome Daring Do pieces.
This artist also has the name Vest, which is like the shortest name I've seen on DeviantArt.
I know. This artist does a lot of really good backdrops, I found, through like all of his other Daring Do pieces, and this one as well. And in this one, he's got a bunch of like purples and pinks and yellows and oranges all blended together in the sky, and these clouds and the sun. It's really, really well done.
Well, Vest is a person who has been on DeviantArt for like 10 years, which is nuts. But obviously he's very experienced with that kind of stuff, and obviously he's been into art in general for a while now. And so obviously over time, when you transfer, obviously My Little Pony has been around for 10 years, or at least this current iteration in terms of fan art has been around for 10 years. So a lot of stuff that can transfer over is stuff like backgrounds and shading styles. It can be very similar. It's very similar across all these different things. So it would make sense that someone who's already experienced would already have a head start on backgrounds because they've already done them for so many years, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's like when you're transitioning from some other art to like a My Little Pony fan art, I would imagine that the most difficult part is probably with the actual characters, like the ponies. Because the scenery and stuff like that, I'm sure you can take tidbits of what you've done already. But when it comes down to the actual pony and the anatomy and stuff like that, I'm sure you have to kind of go through the same process as any new artist would, with kind of realizing the pony anatomy and kind of working with that.
Yeah, it's like a whole new thing that you have to kind of relearn. Some people take to a little bit easier than others.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that the backgrounds is something that can stay consistent, I feel like, because making a realistic background and putting a pony on it, like all you need to do is just modify the style in which you make the pony, as opposed to having to modify the entire background, you know?
Right.
I was going to say the bridge that he's got painted there, she, I'm not sure. The bridge that they've got painted there, it's tripping me out, man. If you look at it, if you look at the planks on it, I can't tell which way they're going. Like the ones on the far right look like they're.
But like logically, it's they are seeing the bottom of the planks.
Yeah.
But I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
but I don't know which way they're like tilting down. Which side of the bridge is higher than the other one?
Do you know why it's doing that though?
Yeah, I do know because of the way the shape, the shape of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. The lines of the planks are all fine and right, but how the planks are shaped, they're going from small to large, which is vice versa of what they should be doing, given perspective. So that's why it's messing with you. It does give kind of a interesting feel, though, messing with it that way, because then we kind of like look at it, don't know what's going on, kind of, I don't know, crazies the scene up a bit, for lack of more intelligent words.
Yeah, it's almost like an optical illusion.
There you go.
It kind of makes you feel unbalanced too, because I mean the whole point of this piece is unbalance,
Yeah.
And it definitely has that impact where, like you said, you looked at it, and even though we're supposed to be looking at the bottom of it, and it's supposed to be like the one on top is supposed to be closer to us, but like Byrne said, it should be then getting smaller, so our brains start flip-flopping it, so it does give that like back and forth. Your brain keeps going back and forth on it, and that almost creates like a rickety feeling, like the bridge itself is kind of swaying back and forth. It's I wouldn't have done it personally, but it's interesting now that we kind of talk about it in that sense.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But the artist totally intended it.
Oh,
All
yeah.
part of the plan.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain they did.
We can only give credit and hope that the artist actually meant that. And usually, like we said before, if they didn't actually, then they should just say they did, and then be like, "Oh yeah, for sure, yeah, that's totally what I meant."
Well, it's interesting when an artist puts in something that's artistically challenging, I guess, or like challenging to the viewer, like this. Or certain types of composition or perspective or anything like that, that really gives the viewer like reason to take a second look at it. Like in this piece with the planks, how they're not really what you would think to be in perspective if they were square planks. And you have to like glance at it a second time to be like, wait a second, what's going on here? It's really interesting. And it's props to the artist to, if he actually did do that. Yeah.
Well, we can't say for sure.
Yeah.
We like to give credit where credit isn't due. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like Pixel Kitty said in our interview. I mean, even if we say something and compliment her on something, just like smile and nod. Like, oh yeah,
Exactly.
yep, meant that.
Oh yeah. I really enjoy the expression on Daring Do in this piece. Just because it's very wide-eyed, like,
I mean,
it matches the title.
Well, the title gives me more of a falling feel, because when I look at that face, it's more like,
Yeah.
maybe that's just the noise I would make.
Yeah.
Well, plus a few choice words, but
Is it like
no, not at all.
No.
you're wrong. That's exactly how you should react.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in the old cartoons when whenever someone like walked off a ledge or like whatever, that was the sound that you heard. Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Or it was.
Yeah. The Wilhelm scream.
Move on. Dear God.
That My Little Pony loves to use so much.
Yeah.
Or like.
So one other thing
Wile E.
I wanted
Coyote.
to talk about. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about in this piece, and then I wanted to bring up another piece by this artist, is the water reflections are really well done in this. There's a little like waterfall / stream.
Active lighting. What?
Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah.
And the atmospheric perspective is also like it's there.
Atmospheric.
It's nice.
Atmo spirit perspective.
Atmospheric. Get it right.
Oh my. Okay, so
All right,
I wanted
so
to. I wanted to do that. What?
Yeah.
What?
What? Okay.
Were you
I
gonna
want to
move
bring
on?
up another piece. No, we're not moving on.
Good.
We're bringing up just another piece by this artist.
I wanted to talk about one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
So in this piece, one of the brightest points of value is the sun in the background. Bam, big sun. This artist has decided to cover over the sun with stuff, and I thought that was interesting. I don't really have an opinion why or why not to do it. I don't know if I would do that if I was making the piece, but it's an interesting aspect because it has this bright point in the center, and I guess it does draw your eye towards the character, which is an interesting concept because I would have thought that your eye would have been drawn to the character anyways. But yeah, that's the thing that's going on in this piece. You have this big, bright center, and then the character right in front of it.
Being drawn to the character? No, not so much. I look at this and the first thing I see is sort of the sun in the background rather than the character. She blends in.
No. What I was saying was I would have thought that naturally, if without that big drawing thing, that your eye would have been drawn to the character. But obviously, the artist has put this sun in to draw your eye. Like you said, it's what draws your eye. So I just
'Cause it's the most saturated thing.
Yeah.
And this is a piece.
yeah. That's all I wanted to say. I thought it was an interesting thing that they happened to do.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's also interesting because normally if you have the sun behind the piece, your foreground will be underexposed, like we talked about in the Sisters episode. But in this piece, because it is a sunrise or a sunset, and the sun's not really at its fullest power, like the exposure is kind of balanced. So
There's a warm glow across everything, which is pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything else about this piece before I bring up?
I like the way that it's been
Mm,
framed.
I do.
That you got the real bright center of light in the middle, and then as it goes out, it fades to black. So that sort of is the frame around it. So it's
Mhm.
Yeah.
like you're looking at it through a cardboard tube, sort of.
But just like Rain Plasma was saying, like that's a great point. Because there is a lot of things going on to help create like focus and direct your eye. So like there is a bright area of saturation towards the middle, and that's where like the character and the action's going on. And then there is like less saturated, darker areas around everything else, kind of framing everything. So like there is stuff going on telling you, hey, you know, look here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting point to bring up. It's really cool.
Go on.
Okay, so this other piece that I wanted to bring up just really briefly is called I'm Right There With Ya, Sister, because this is done after the most recent Daring Do episode, I believe.
You just wanted to put Kane in something.
And I just wanted to put the cane in there.
You follow memes in this fandom so hard.
Oh my god,
Like,
I do.
You were so hard on Gak, and the Twilight Scepter thing came along, and you were all over that.
I am subscribed to r/the cane.
What is
without
wrong
shame.
with you? Oh my god.
Yeah. No, I like this piece in general, and the fact that it has the Twilight Scepter / the Twilight Cane / whatever else in it is just
Hail to
golden.
the cane, baby.
For God's sakes.
So good. Okay, so let's move on to our next piece, which is called Daring Do by Mirage. And Bern, you brought up this piece. Would you like to start us off?
Wait, just before you start, Mirage.
Yeah,
Mirage.
with a DGE.
Because I wasn't looking at the screen, and I had forgotten the artist's name. So I heard it, and you said Mirage, and I was like, wait a second. Did they really get the username Mirage? And then I looked at it, and I was like, oh no, it's Mirage.
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 The D is silent.
Mirage.
Yeah, it is.
Red.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember this piece. This piece came out towards the beginning of January, right when the first Daring Do episode aired, or April 4th, excuse me, not January.
2012.
In April. Yeah, in April when the episode came out.
So not shortly. It was about a month after, I think, the very first Daring Do came out.
Yeah, it was shortly after that episode, and it was like during the season, and God, were we doing the show yet? I don't think we were.
No.
But it was
No.
right when I started getting into the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we were first like arting, like very first arting.
Exactly. And I remember this piece being around and seeing it a lot, and like seeing it on r/My Little Pony. And so when we did a Daring Do episode, I was like, hey, wait, that piece is in like the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But I've always seen it around. It's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I like looking at really old really old fan art.
Yeah.
Like relatively really old. You know, like from like the first year or so
This
of
was
the fandom.
Almost 2
Because-
years
yeah.
ago, this one. April
Yeah.
4th, 2012. Not almost.
You don't see too
Yeah.
many of it nowadays.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wish I could see when I favorited things, because this thing's been one of my favorites forever.
This piece it's kind of busy, which is really cool because there's a lot going on in it. You've got the birds over in the right hand side. The whole piece is tipped on an angle, so the water that you see going from the top left to the bottom right should be
My neck.
horizontal. I know. So everyone tilt your head.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
No,
no,
just,
don't.
just tilt your screen.
We are not responsible for any deaths and or injuries caused by tilting your neck looking at this piece.
Or broken monitors.
Yeah. Also, is that an axe in her hat.
Helmet, yeah.
I was gonna say she looks like she's making a face like she just got axed in the head. Like she's making like a face.
That was close.
I think it was unintentional, but I think it matched up quite funny.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, I can speak.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I like that axe though, because it's like a compliment to everything around it. So just that like subtle red makes it really stand out in comparison to everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you kind of wonder like what the artist is thinking when they put in something like that is kind of vital to the piece, or at least vital to that to kind of tie everything together. I mean that really takes a lot of artistic ability to be able to see that.
Yeah.
Something that small can do that.
Burned,
Yes.
you favorited this piece on August 29th, 2012. So that is after we started our show.
Oh.
You're welcome. You were number 139 if you want to go look it up.
What?
Did you just like look through all the favorites?
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. I was which one?
You were number 139, and it says you favorited it on August 29th, 2012.
Out of the 900 favorites, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you hipster.
Look at that. Oh yeah.
I really like the use of textures in this piece, actually.
Yeah, I agree. As someone who loves textures,
Mm-hmm.
this piece definitely stands out to me immediately. I love these. There's a difference between details and textures, and I have a hard time explaining it myself. But if you know what the difference is, I enjoy textures more so than just adding detail to something manually. It's there's just an extra added like texture to it, just like that, like a feel to a piece, especially with natural things like these giant roots or rocks or water. That's where the texture really comes in. Less so with the pony itself, but more with the backgrounds and things like that. I really love that.
It's interesting. In this piece, we see more of that diagonal motion just because of the nature of the piece that it's tipped to the slide. To the
It's
side.
like rotated.
Yeah, so everything that should be moving is on a diagonal. The water is moving diagonally down to the left. The birds are moving diagonally up to the right. Daring Do is kind of stationary since she's not really moving currently.
Mm-hmm.
It all kind of fits together, makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyone who have watched this show for a while will know that I love pictures like this that play with the perspective, and this is a great example of that, where everything looks like it would be real. It's just the camera, which is us, has been tilted. Like nothing looks out of place at all. Looks like it could be a real life scene.
It's just the frame itself.
Yeah, everything. It's like he's made it. It's like he's drawn it horizontally and then just flipped it and saved it, which I'm pretty sure he didn't do that. But that's what it looks like.
Yeah. But he might have turned the canvas while making it in order to help make like straighter lines, which is an interesting technique to use. Yeah.
I'm just putting this in Photoshop and turning it to see what things look like.
Fancy dancy.
I don't know. No,
Taking out
looking.
Suddenly it turns into awful.
No.
just because it's horizontal and vertical.
That's kind of cool.
I wonder when artists are kind of playing around with this perspective, if they do take like reference shots and kind of turn it just to see how things should look. I mean, I'm sure artists must do that.
Well, it's an interesting process because, I think artists should really mess around with a lot of their pieces, turn it, flip it, bop it, twist it.
Yeah.
Because like, it's a great way, like zoom out a lot, zoom in a lot, like what changes about a piece. It can really give you a perspective, and you don't even have to do that in your own pieces. Go do that with other pieces, see what happens, see what changes. Why does this piece look so good? Why do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to look at things like that and see how much can change just by horizontally flipping a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how she got the axe in the head or why it's still there.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she
I mean,
just
the handles-
pull the thing out?
Well,
No
maybe-
time for
I mean,
that.
How do you pull that out when you don't have hands?
How does Lyra play a lyre?
Teeth?
Horn.
Magic.
Magic? clearly.
Yeah, I guess.
Get owned!
So then why is she standing on a tree when she has wings?
Because, remember, they got hurt.
Yeah, her wing's broken on the other side.
I thought it was on the left-hand side.
Get owned again!
I thought it was the left-hand side that was broken.
Maybe the snake is just really heavy.
Maybe.
And somehow the snake got wrapped around her.
Can we talk about the fact that like Daring Do keeps breaking bones and it makes me cringe because this is a kid's show? Like when,
Yeah.
Not
when
breaking them.
like when-
She's spraining them. There's a difference.
yeah.
Okay, the last episode, this latest one, at some point when she was in the house, she most definitely like broke a bone and like it made like a snapping noise. And,
Oh, yeah,
and, like
no,
I
it'd crunch and-
I like very out loud went like, ugh.
Yep.
We're gonna have to put this horse down.
Ken confirmed. I was thinking about this earlier, and I would be very in favor of them making a Daring Do spin-off series, because that would be fantastic if they ever wanted to make a spin-off series.
That'd be cool. Daring Do's kind of a jerk. I don't really like her character. I don't really like her character other than like, ooh, look, she's a cool adventure character.
Yeah, well, it'd be like an Indiana Jones miniseries.
She's not a jerk. She just works
24.
alone. Gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nothing
I guess
wrong
I
with
see a
wanting to
lot
be
of those
alone,
series,
Phasma.
whereas
Like,
like,
I mean-
MLP is like it's completely different, you know.
Yeah.
So if
I
I
mean,
was
like-
going to see a side one, I'd want to have something different. That we talked last
Ponies
week.
about
Last
friendship.
week, 2 weeks ago, sometime, probably last week, about like the possibility of a Celestia Luna
Yeah.
spin off. That's the right word, right? Spin off.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun because again, that's something like new and different that I've never seen before. Then again, I support all pony spin-offs because you know, pony.
Because more ponies is good ponies.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So much going on.
Pony. So one last thing that I want to touch about in this piece is the reflection in the water, because it is pretty cool. You can see like where you have the rocks kind of coming up out of the water, you have this reflection, and it's all disturbed because obviously the water's moving very fast and you get these ripples and stuff like that, but the reflections are also very well done.
Sweet.
Anyone else have anything else to kind of touch on in this piece?
No.
Just go tell everyone, go look, or I'm going to physically tell everyone watching this that they should go to this piece, look at it, nice and big and large and full resolution, and take a gander at some of those textures on that crazy branch that she's like walking on and everything. There's some crazy amount of textures and brushwork, and it doesn't look like just textures thrown over. It looks like crazy like custom brushes and a bunch of other junk all painted and mashed together to create some awesome stuff that looks like moss and vines and whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah. Definitely looks cool.
Also I'll probably tilt the piece. Moving on.
All right. So our next piece is called Daring Do by Macon.
He's actually got a bunch of different Daring Do ones, but I personally really like this one because this one has such crazy cool colors in it. And I saw this one and I immediately thought of Burned because I thought Burned would be really into these vibrant, interesting colors. Was I right? Isn't this the kind of stuff that you really like?
Yes, it's cool.
Yeah.
Just cool.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know.
I like the colors. They're really cool. It's very saturated, which is not something you see often in like show accurate ponies or in art in general, because the world is not like oversaturated. It's very dull.
Maybe not your world.
That's why I like. That's why I like this piece, because it was closer to stuff that's expressionistic, is closer to expressionist like works where it's much more about the color and feelings and expressions and all that.
Yeah.
So I like this piece because of just like the huge blatant areas of color. It didn't take into like account like huge amounts of realism or detail or painting or whatever. Like there's definitely some use of texture and brushwork. And like the character is pretty detailed with the hair, and you can clearly tell it's a pony. But I mean, like the giant purple ziggurat, or the yellow in the background, and like that red that's in the majority of everything, including the ground and in the area around this giant power beam sun thing.
Power beam
there's-
sun thing. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like going on. There's a lot of stuff led to the imagination, and like there's leaves and everything everywhere. Like what are those? They look like ferns and whatnot. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff, and it's done really interesting, and it's a lot about how the colors interact with each other, and colors overlaying other colors, more than about like details and like tricks of painting and like normal stuff. When you think of digital painting and tricks and stuff like that, it's much more about just like the piece and the color itself. And
yeah, like it's got a lot of like blocks of solid color that are just like overlaid by a bunch of things. Like you've got blocks of purple and blocks of yellow and blocks of red that all kind of merge together, but they're all it barely changes within the actual block itself, you know.
It's something simple and really pretty to look at.
Yeah.
Burned.
Yes.
Please explain ziggurat.
Ziggurat is basically an ancient structure that's usually Aztec in descent. And it's not quite like a pyramid, because pyramids are like, you know, the shape of pyramid. It's 4 sides and it's triangular. Ziggurats are usually religious temples that are placed up in almost a pyramid-like fashion, but you can see that in the background, how it's like steps of huge blocks that go up. If you just Google like Aztec temple, all those are ziggurats.
Yeah.
Why, thank you.
Yeah. I know that because I play Warcraft 3.
There you go.
What I find interesting in this piece is there's a lot of use of transparency in like a lot of things. Like for instance, in Daring Do's hair, like in her mane, there's a use of transparency because you could see the ferns through her hair. In the trees, there's transparency used because you can see the ferns through the trunks of the trees. It's just kind of used all over the place, which is an interesting use of that, combined with the different colors and stuff.
I wanted to bring that up with the mane. Is that... Okay, no, okay, so there's the transparency there. I was thinking, is that a transparency, or is that a shadow from her tail, or from something else from behind? But no, I can see you're right. You can see the top of the fern.
Yeah.
You can also see it through the tree.
Yes. Yeah, which is interesting. It's again, it makes it more of a surrealist piece, expressionistic as
yeah,
Bernie
it's
put
not
it.
like obviously there's a lot of see-through stuff that shouldn't be see-through, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Well, I mean, it's not trying to be a realistic piece, which is
right.
It's cool. It's
just its thing.
It's kind of
It's just its
it's like the hipster of art.
No, that's burned.
Yeah.
Hey!
How was your fedora, buddy?
I missed the joke.
You're so adorable.
We said you were the hipster of art.
So what?
I did.
You guys just aren't cool enough.
I know.
Yep. There we go. There it is.
Too
Fantastic.
cool for you guys. Too cool for school.
I really like the composition. I think it's the composition, or maybe it's the framing, or it's a combination of both of this piece, where the center point is the circle on top of the ziggurat temple.
Oh, and then like all
everything
the stuff,
kind of arcs around it. So you get this clear view of that, and then you get all the trees that form this archway around it. The ground kind of portions that off as well.
Yeah, it has this cool like almost like a not quite circular, but it's got that kind of. I was about to say tubular, but that reminds me of that's not the right word. But yeah, it's got definitely like it hones your vision into that center point, even though like obviously the big color changes and the big value changes. It's very light in the middle, so obviously that'll bring your vision in. But then you've got like 3 or 4 things. You got the saturation, you've got the value, you've got the colors, and you've got the fact that it's surrounding the center. So you have that aspect of, like you were saying, framing that brings your eyes into. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a thing in the piece that draws your eyes, and it's supposed to simulate or emulate the fact that Daring Do is looking at this and being like, "Whoa, it's drawing her eyes," you know?
Yeah.
Hey, Bund, look, it's orange and purple. Our 2 favorite colors.
Oh, no wonder he likes it. I thought he liked orange and blue.
Same diff.
Blue
is purple.
I picked what is it? I picked orange and blue because Blitz Pony, and then I said my least favorite colors are yellow and purple when done wrong, because like football, what is it? Since they're commonly known complements, Like lots of sports teams use the combination of like gold and purple, and it looks gaudy to me. But in something like this, there's a bit more to it, and I enjoy it.
Oh my goodness! Thought put into things changes things. Oh, what? Crazy.
That's why we like, we say never to use red and black in your OC, but if you do it right and you put a lot of thought into it.
Don't start with this. Don't start with this.
It's still a bit of a stretch.
Still a bit of a stretch. It's that one's less of a color
Nocturnal
choice and more of
Ponies,
a.
though,
It's more of a Mary Sue thing.
Yeah.
I want to be all ponies.
Let's not. Let's just move from this point on forever.
So the Cunas.
Cunas. We're gonna do the questions.
Can you
now.
stick around for the Cunas?
Yeah, I've
you-
just about 10 minutes. I can stick around for.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so question number 1: if you had to bestow a superpower to only one other Cutie Art Crusader member, what would the superpower be, and who would you bestow it upon? Sent in by DualShock, a fellow Australian.
Ooh.
I don't want to say mine. It's really stupid. I'll say mine first so that you guys forget it, and when everybody else says their answers.
Mean.
Okay,
I would have just given Ted whatever superpower he wanted. It's really dorky. But why would I want to troll someone with it when I could be nice?
Favoritism,
Such
gosh.
Canadian.
Such Canadian.
Such
Sorry.
Canadian. I would actually give the power to fly to Joel so that he could come and visit us because he lives on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
God damn it, that's too cute.
I know.
3 cute, 5.
I mean Atmos Spark.
Yeah. Thank you, Ted. I mean, flood again.
God's sakes. All right.
What are real names? Who uses those?
Burned you go. Oops, I mean burned.
Gosh. Oh no.
Burn chooses to give the ability to give abilities to someone else.
Yes.
To himself.
That way I can give it to myself.
Exactly.
Who's the most easily manipulatable? Flutter guy.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm bad with decisions, and also I'm bad at showing signs of affection.
Personal
Okay.
hour with
I give Burned supersonic hearing. Like,
Can I give Burned supersonic attention span?
I guess.
All right.
I don't have anything funny because, I'd probably just give more stuff to Flutter Guy because everyone's giving stuff to him, and I like giving stuff to him.
He is
Aw.
now
Probably
a
something
god.
to do with probably give him the power to be super adorable, so we could rule the
He's already
world.
got that.
So what you're saying is this has already
I
happened.
would.
I think that was my original answer to this joke, was just give him the ability to
I think.
blind the crap out of people
Yeah.
with super brightness and damage their eyes, or either that or make them.
So
I would
the
make-
power of
give
the
them the ability to
sun
be super adorable.
because it basically hurts your eyes.
I would make Rainbow Plasma allergic to cookie dough.
No.
That's
The horror.
honestly, if we're talking about bad superpowers, that's not bad. I mean, obviously it would kind of suck, but it would be a mild inconvenience that I could totally get around.
But see, it's a superpower, so it's the superpower to be allergic to cookie dough. So whenever you
From, like,
eat
500 miles
cookie dough,
away.
you can
You're
just
super allergic.
something epic happens.
Yeah, like some sort of like Cyclops sneeze
Like you
comes
just
out my nose.
get a
Yeah,
get a
lasers.
giant projectile vomit laser.
Oh my god.
It was a thread on Reddit a while ago.
Gross.
You give yourself a superpower, but the twist is the next person who comments also has an influence on it. It's great. It's like if you
Oh,
get
so
the
you see, like, a
superpower, but
downside.
only if
Oh,
what
Chen.
the next person says.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like
Thanks for the question.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
it's
fun.
like you've got the ability to fly, but only in low gravity environments. That sort of thing.
So you got to get
Thanks,
up there first.
DualShock.
Extremely. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. You are surrounded by bees. What do you do by Otaku AP? Flail, Kermit
Freak the hell
Flail.
out.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
Yeah, I was gonna say
The
first.
bees! Oh!
Put on a Nick Cage face and scream, "Not the bees!"
Not the bees!
The guy at work the other day got bitten inside the mouth.
See, the
by a
irony
wasp.
behind that is Nicolas Cage's face was in a cage while he was screaming, dying by bees, being killed by his daughter.
Can we put you
Worst
in a
movie
cage
ever.
with the? Yeah.
That's horrible.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
Depends on the kind of bees. Like,
if they're friendly
if it was
bees,
Jerry Seinfeld type of bee, then I'd be happy with it.
I would laugh
would.
because everyone would be freaking out
Just
with
the-
all these bees,
just-
and then I'd be like, I'm wearing a bee suit, just like in the show. It's funny.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. You just cover
No, wait.
yourself in bees and like go around screaming, and then people like run away because they think you're gonna die, and then you like, ha! I'm actually just wearing a suit.
Now, are we talking about like
Surprise!
bees as in like the animal or the letter? Because if it's a B plus, then it's not so bad.
It's almost a pay.
Are we talking about like what scenario are we getting these bees? Is it like Oprah's giving us the bees, like bees for everyone? Like is
That's
that
actually what
what's
I was
Bees.
thinking. Is
Yeah.
like the first thing we'd do is just damn Oprah.
Yeah, like have we all
bees and
gotten
you get
tickets
bees.
to go get on Oprah? And,
Why
and
do we all get these
Everybody
bees?
gets
bees for
bees.
everyone?
Bees.
Or
What?
yeah.
What?
If I post that GIF on this episode,
Shout
do you
out
think it'll
to
get
the
taken
bee
down for
lounge.
copyright claims?
I
Why
don't
was
know.
that the question that was asked? What? All right.
You are
Well,
surrounded by
get
bees.
some
What do you do?
So
No, I definitely heard it. I just couldn't believe it.
that's what we
Yeah,
do
no,
at
it's-
Dark WP.
I mean, it makes sense because in the one of the previous episodes they were surrounded by bees, and
Yes.
so it's relevant. Kind of.
Win the most radical pony contest. I don't know. What was the contest again? Most fearless,
Most fearless pony or something. Yeah. Like,
reckless.
yeah.
I don't know.
Daring do pony.
Daring,
Most daring pony.
Most
daring if
Oh
it
yeah,
was-
most daring pony. Yeah, that's
oh
what
my
it was.
god, dude! We
Hey.
just come full circle.
Yes, we did.
You just blew my mind. Holy cow!
And on that note,
That's amazing.
thank you for the questions, guys.
Just gonna sit here
Send in
drooling.
more.
Yeah, do that. Send in more questions.
Holiday theme for next week. Woo!
Yes.
You've got 3 days until the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let us know of holiday pony art.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
let's
It
do
doesn't have to
plugs
be your
first.
own
Order things. Plugs.
Plugs?
plugs.
Plugs. Okay, so we have a DeviantArt page, which is cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com. We also have a YouTube, which is youtube.com/cutieartcrusaders. We have a Facebook account, which is Cutie Art Crusaders. And we have a Twitter account, which is @AtmosSpark.
That one might be debatable.
It's at Cutie Art Crusade because Twitter is silly and doesn't let us have our full name.
Yeah. You could subscribe to, or wait, it's not subscribe,
Follow.
is it? Follow.
It's follow on Twitter.
I don't know how to Twitter.
Follow
So
on
that's
Twitter.
okay.
It's
It's-
like on Facebook. It's subscribe on YouTube, and it's watch on DeviantArt.
It's
Yeah.
insert buzzword here for insert social website. How about that?
Nice.
So yeah,
Now we can go into
go
the
to those
holiday
things
stuff.
and do them. Also, Mahauer.
Do all the things to me.
All right. So, yeah, holiday episode is next week, which
Mhm.
means by the time that this comes out on the 24th, we will be recording on the 27th, which means that you should have your submissions in by the 27th, preferably not on the 27th, because
Yeah.
you don't know when we're recording the episode, so that's not our prerogative. So, yeah, send it in before the 27th, and we will definitely get that on there. It's looking to be quite the episode so far because we've gotten a few submissions, so we're gonna see how we're gonna fit all
I
those in.
know, my
Shout out
gosh,
to
I love
Britney
you all.
Spears if you're watching.
Mhm.
What?
What?
Okay.
My prerogative.
For God's sakes.
Lol.
So yeah, send in your holiday stuff in the next 3 days, and believe it or not, that means we actually on the show while we're recording know what the heck's gonna happen next week.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Wait,
First time.
this is weird.
And it comes
I
out on
know.
Christmas
I
Day
don't know
for
if I
me,
can
so
deal with
I'll be
this.
at home, so I can actually
That's
watch it.
true.
Yeah.
So yeah, next week is going to be that holiday episode, and yeah. So I guess that's everything, guys.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to add one more thing
Okay.
because I thought next episode that's coming out is going to be on the 31st. So that's going to be our holiday episode, and we talked about holidays and New Year's and all that kind of stuff adding together. The episode after that is going to be our first episode of 2014. What I thought might be fun would be something to do with the last year or so. So if you guys have an idea for us, something special that's kind of like a look back on the year, something special that we can do, send us an email and let us know if you have any fun ideas. I have a couple of fun ideas, some stuff that we could probably do. So I'll talk to the guys about that in the next coming weeks. But if you have any ideas, then feel free to send us that at our email, cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we should do a fun look back on 2013.
Guys, this is our first full year doing this podcast.
Darn right it is. Not yet. We still got
Not yet.
one more to go.
One more episode.
Full calendar year, anyways.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. All right.
We do have a spoiler cast after this, so stay tuned for that. If you've watched the episode, and if not, then you should go watch the episode.
Yeah.
And then come back to us on YouTube.
And then What's up, friend?
I wanted to give a shout out to Yila Wolf because it's her birthday.
Oh.
Yay.
So happy birthday, Errol. When? Today, the 20th, or today, the 24th?
Today isn't recording.
20th.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
20th, while we're recording, so 4 days prior to when
Happy
people will
belated
see
birthday when you watch this.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube, we love you all the same. Feel free to stick around for the spoiler cast after this, and look forward to our holiday episode next week. My name is Rainbow Plasma.
I'm FlutterGuy317.
And I'm Atmospark.
What? Why? You guys are so weird. We'll see you guys next week.
Rainbow Plasma, touch me.
I want to get in on this.
Cut that out.
Pony pile.
Hello and welcome to the 5th spoiler cast for My Little Pony Season 4, done by the Cutie Art Crusaders. My name is FlutterGuy317, and today I'm joined by Burned01
Hello.
and Atmospark.
So,
And today we're going to be going over / spoiler casting episode 6 of Season 4, which is called Power Ponies.
it's
Ponies.
really bugging me that our spoiler cast number is one less than the episode number.
I know. Well,
Can we just?
mean,
can we just say a big no? Damn you to Max and just make this number 6. And then next week will be number 7.
But what happened to number 5 then?
It was, I don't know, eaten by a shark or something.
Okay.
It made Fluttershy angry.
Yeah.
It punched a kitten or something.
So
yeah,
we'll do a retrospective in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you want to do redo the intro, episode 7?
No.
No.
Moving forwards.
Yeah. This was a really fun episode. I enjoyed it. It was this, and I think Castlemania were really, really fun episodes. Cause
Definitely.
They're I hate to use the word trope over and over again, but it's it's, they're things that have been done before, and they're kind of a nod to the past, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, it's always the same powers when you get an episode of anything like this. You got the speed. There wasn't really anybody that was a stretchy, rubbery character. That's quite common as well. But the being able to conjure something is new. I haven't seen that very commonly.
The the rarity one?
Yeah, the rarity thing.
That was a Green Lantern, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't actually seen the Green Lantern, so that'll explain it.
I thought you meant what's Twilight?
Dr. Freeze.
Sure.
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can buy
Dash
that.
is, I'm guessing, Thor-ish.
But Dr. Freeze was a villain, though.
Dash is what's her face? I don't know.
Storm?
X-Men. Yeah, Storm from
Storm.
X-Men.
Yeah.
I was thinking Storm was too simple, but yeah, Storm from X-Men.
Yeah.
Twilight could be Iceman. From X-Men.
Because of Pixel Kitties, I was thinking that Applejack was going to be Thor, but she turned out to be
Superwoman.
Superwoman, which was still pretty fitting.
Yeah. But yeah, so we kind of jumped right in there. So in this episode, the ponies kind of jump into a comic book universe after going through the whole intro where they were trying to clean up the castle, which is interesting because we've been seeing a lot more of that castle.
Continuity.
Yay!
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Maybe that's going to be Twilight's castle at the end. Because Celestia and Luna have
theories, ho!
Canterlot. Cadence has the Crystal Empire. Maybe that's just Twilight's pretend play castle. She's like, yeah, you can rule over nothing.
I mean, she's got all these like trapdoors and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess. But like, she rules over it like it's just a part of the forest. Like, here you have Zecora as your subject.
I think it's close enough to Ponyville where maybe it's like, I don't know. I mean, it'll be kind of interesting to see if like we see the fixed up castle by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've still got the Equestrian Games to come. Maybe that's where it's going to be held. Oh no, it's Canterlot, isn't it?
It's in Crystal Empire.
That's right, of course.
Yeah.
Cadence taking everything.
Taking Shining Armor.
Yeah.
Taking the games. Everything. But so they all get sucked into this comic book, which Spike bought at, what was the name of the store? Like Enchanted Comic Books or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was kind of cute at the end. When he was like, I just thought they had enchanting stories.
I didn't realize they meant actually enchanted.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it was supposed to be just kind of a fun episode, I'm sure, and it was.
Yep.
Why did
what is it?
I was thinking, why didn't they give Pinky a power? That's just her. Normally, she's like that.
Yeah.
No.
Pinky missed that.
I mean, she went 65 blocks in half a second?
Yeah.
So, I mean, normal Pinky goes 64 blocks in half a second.
Fair enough.
So, there you go.
So they made her a little bit faster.
Yeah, just a little bit.
There's also a thing a while ago, like ages ago, Andrea Libman posted a tweet that she blew out her voice recording an episode, and this was the one because she made that Fluttershy voice.
Yeah.
The Flutter Hulk.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's, I just saw a repost of it on Reddit. Somebody's and Andrea Libman retweeted as well.
Yeah.
Goodness, the friggin' that Flutter Hulk, like they had so much fun with the whole superhero thing and doing like their superpowers and that whole, trope and tossing back to the Marvel heroes or whatnot, and like Metropolis, I was like, that was pretty good too. I like that.
Yeah. I loved all of their mains. Like the styling.
Is it Metropolis or Metropolis?
Metropolis. But like all the mains are like brushed back and like
epic styles and stuff.
I liked the villain.
The superhero outfits.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the villain. The villain was fun.
Yeah. Very insane.
Which is good.
Which was great.
She's like she's like not the Joker. She's like the Riddler, I think, from Batman.
Yeah.
No,
what?
Not really.
No.
She's whatever
Harley
the
Quinn.
villain is. Oh, she's insane, kind of like Harley Quinn or the Joker. Yeah, that's kind of where her mind status is.
Yeah.
But her whole tentacle thing she has going on reminds me of Dr. Ock, whatever, from
from
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And the way that she walks with her hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
But her whole, like crazy and persona, like insanity. There's lots of, insane superheroes from Batman to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joker's the one that always like comes to my mind, and Harley Quinn's just like a spawn off of him because she's feminine and whatnot.
Yeah.
But Harley Quinn's more like joking sexuality almost.
Yeah.
I don't know really how to put it, but it's a different flavor than the Joker,
Yeah.
She's very illustrious, I think is the word.
Insanity is as insanity does, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's why I walk around naked.
The whole what is it? Moving forwards, the whole ending scene when she like wraps herself in her hair and she's like bouncing on the ground laughing. That was pretty good too.
I love that bit.
was great.
She's laughing at the
And
end.
like when that beam just like bounces off of Flutter Hulk. What is it? Hulkshy's face or whatever.
Flutter Hulk.
Yeah, it was like
Flutter Hulk's
saddle.
face.
What was it? It was something. It was like saddle. I don't know. Saddle something.
Saddle.
Whatever laser. But that was ridiculous. Like the noise she made when it bounced off of her face was like, God.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the villain in this, and the fact that there were like tons and tons of henchmen. And
oh my god, the henchmen were so good. That dude with the goatee, new favorite pony. That dude with the goatee, and the dude who gets like lightning in the face, like my hair,
my hair.
And then when everyone's all defeated, he's just sitting there with like his face is like in smoke, like blinking. Oh my goodness, the henchmen were super great.
Yeah.
So, what would you name the one with the goatee?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah, you got a chance right now to name a character.
Oh, forget that.
I'm sure it's already been named.
I'm not creative enough or something like that.
Yeah. No idea.
Dude's great.
Gregory.
Gregory.
That's Gregory.
Greg.
Sure.
Greg Benjamin. Oh god.
I really enjoyed this episode because it was a very Spike centric episode, and we finally saw a good Spike episode.
Yeah, especially in the beginning when it was whole like, we were like comparing him to Comic Relief and stuff. It's like, that's basically what he was in the first season, you know?
Yeah, like even like in the first few episodes of this season, he's been mostly just Comic Relief and
like Spike hitting the window and good times, good memories. The whole piano throwing him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good memories.
So yeah, that whole tip to him being Comic Relief was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like the Robin.
Yeah. We don't see like too many good Spike episodes too. Like if you think back like last season, there were a couple of Spike episodes and they were like, I don't know, it didn't really play off well for him, I think, in those episodes. And in this one, he really like comes around and redeems himself and stuff like that. So it was nice to see that.
Yep.
But
yeah, he's better than Angel Buddy.
Yeah.
I'll allow this.
I mean, anyone's better than Angel.
Right. Trixie's better than Angel Bunny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything else that was like new or exciting?
Well, I really liked the stance that Pinky was in the cage.
Have you got an example?
Because she's just like, she's just kind of like, it's like she's in mid motion and just kind of leaning.
Where all the
forward.
characters are kind of like half posed.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
because they're all like in motion but frozen.
Yeah,
yeah. Especially right when they first got frozen, and Twilight was kind of like tilting forward, and she goes tink, like tips forward.
Yeah, that was funny.
Things like that were pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that was a good is probably immediately going to be a fan favorite is basically every scene with Rarity when she does something is hilarious. Like she spawns tea, she saves herself in like a cake cozy or carrier or whatever that thing is, cake tray, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like cuts the bars with a nail file, and then the best part where she jumps gallantly so gracefully down the stairs.
Yes.
Like I already made 3 gifs of that. Of her
with her
jumping
nose
down the
right
stairs.
up in the air.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they had a lot of fun with the faces too in this episode, if you guys noticed.
Yes.
There was a lot of like face angles and stuff you don't normally see in episodes, especially like with Rarity putting her nose up and a bunch of other stuff. And I mean, the backgrounds that they had to make for this episode, geez, like normally they use a lot of like stock backgrounds, whatever, Ponyville, and maybe reuse some stuff, but in this episode, like all this custom crafted Maintropolis, or Metropolis, excuse me. That's pretty impressive. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, like you got to think that they have a ton of assets for Ponyville and Canterlot and like
Clouds, whatever.
Yeah, Cloudsdale. I guess like when they first brought up the Crystal Empire, they had to make all those assets and whatnot. But like that's been brought up a couple of times since then, and it started off as a double episode and whatnot. I don't know if we're ever coming back to Metropolis, but it seems like a lot of work.
I'd say
for the assets.
I don't know if we would, because it's a comic book character city.
Yeah.
Unless it's based on an actual city.
No, he was very much just making fun of Batman.
Yeah, maybe they can reuse some assets if
Gotham was based in
we
Chicago.
ever go to
Gotham.
If we ever go to
Metropolis is just a Marvel city?
Yeah.
Or is it DC?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't read comic books. I'm sorry. Everyone's going to hate me.
I know. I don't either. I'm sorry.
Batman is Gotham, and then Superman is in Metropolis.
Yeah.
Right?
maybe.
Superheroes.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if we ever go to like Manhattan, they might be able to reuse some assets, but I don't know.
Didn't we go to Manhattan in like the first season?
Yeah.
And it looked really bad, as far as I can remember.
No.
Okay.
Applejack went to... Was it Manhattan?
It was Manhattan.
Yeah, Manhattan.
To find itself.
And Orange and...
But this is Metropolis, and that was Manhattan.
Right.
But still a big city, so it could still use some... I'm Berno, I like just to say things.
What?
Did you have any other parts that you enjoyed, Pinky Dash? You? Atmospark. Joel. Guy who's blue.
You there.
I'm going to laugh at you whenever you
Blue Horse, go.
Blue Horse. No, not really. I think everything's been... I loved Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie was great in this episode.
Yeah,
she was really good in this episode.
Continually running off to the bakery.
Right in the beginning, that was really good too, where she like dodged it and just running everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my god, her like cleaning the castle too.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
She slides on her hair.
Yeah, and on the brushes on her feet and stuff. And she's like talking so fast, it all like kind of works together into one like word.
Yeah,
it's like no spike we're okay. So good.
The scrubbing across the wall was pretty good too.
Yeah. I enjoyed one other part, which was when they actually went into the comic book. That whole scene where they're all being sucked into it was really well done. Mm-hmm. The animation was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was kind of fun to see like, Twilight jump after Spike and then Dash jump after Twilight and like,
God. It's just like this episode's or the spoiler cast is more of just like we like things. Like we enjoyed this episode. This is what we enjoyed. We're just like talking well about the episode. It's not so much critical. Because Rand Plasma likes looking like deeper into episodes or whatever.
He's very emotional.
I'm not the best, I don't know, critical thinker when it comes to like movies or cartoons or episodes or whatever, unless I have like a strict problem with something and I feel like, oh, they should have done it this way, then I mean like get uppity, but was there anything that you guys had that was critical for this episode, or
not really? It's just a fun
critical
episode.
To say.
Yeah, not really. I mean, like most of the other episodes that we've done spoiler casts on, like they impact the general canon of the show, and I feel like this is kind of a side episode. Like it's definitely canon because it's obviously in the show, but it's in a different universe. Yeah, like they still have the memories.
Comic book.
Yeah, they'll still have the memories and stuff like that, but there's no continuity that really needs to be there because, it's in a different universe and whatnot. So, like, I don't know. It's literally just a fun episode, I think. Yeah.
I definitely think that's what it was there for.
Yeah.
That's a good thought, though. I mean, that's pretty much a critical thought right there. Like, it wasn't super like impactful on the canon. It had some really fun stuff. In the beginning, it had some great canon stuff where they were fixing up the castle. Like that's about as deep into the canon as it went when they were fixing up and cleaning the castle. Like, oh, why are they cleaning the castle?
Yeah.
Like, why are they fixing it up? Like that. Yeah. So that was cool. And then the whole like off story into like the comic book, which the episode was about, it just had a lot of great, really fun stuff. And I feel like they did it well. And I guess we all agree on that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. For what it was, I liked it.
Go on.
Oh, I was saying for what it was, I really liked it.
Yeah. It's interesting how much like build up there's been to certain events so far. Like we have the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? We have the castle. We have the equestrian games. It's like I mean obviously the keys for the box. It kind of ties in, but it's like there's so many things that they've set up for this season, so it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of resolve all of them.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm really glad that they're going with the whole like continuity through the season, like in season 1. It's super happy about that. It's been awesome. I've been enjoying it, So every episode, I look forward to the little like tidbit that we get that makes and builds upon the story. It makes me want to keep watching every week,
Yeah. And it's
Nice.
interesting because like in previous seasons, you would have like these episodes where it was just like a side kind of thing, and they didn't mention anything like continuity wise. Like there was continuity, but it wasn't like the main story line or one of the main storylines.
Yeah.
And it looks like in this season, like in each episode, they're at least touching on some of the main story arcs.
Yep.
So,
I don't know who I gotta give credit to, but just like bravo,
props.
Emmy Larson, whoever the heck, I don't know.
No, he's not working this season.
Oh, who's working this season?
It's Megan McCarthy.
Megan McCarthy? Well, she's top notch. Bravo.
Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah. I know they seem to be doing more group-based episodes rather than character-based episodes, but I want a Pinkie Pie episode.
I like how they're doing these group episodes and they're kind of like maybe focusing on one kind of side character or something. So like they kind of like focus on Spike and then they do whatever. So when they actually do like the individual pony episodes, it'll be kind of nice, you know? Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when we had, what was it? Was it last episode or 2 episodes ago where we had like, it was kind of a character episode, but everyone was there. Oh yeah, it was the Daring Do one, where everyone was there, but it was Dash and Twilight.
Yeah, it's always really a character kind of learning a lesson.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of like how they're having everyone there because everyone has a little bit to contribute to it.
Shows about friends. Yeah. I mean, like, there's the other one is CAC centric, you know, it's not Singular Pony centric.
CAC centric?
I mean, it was kind of, it was
it was us centric.
CMC. But I mean, I guess it was kind of Scootaloo centric on the CMC.
Yeah, so. That's true too. Yeah. So
but definitely excited, looking forwards for like episodes to come.
Yes.
I have not been disappointed.
Yeah. And so far we haven't been spoiled, which is good.
Yep.
So
yeah, I avoid the Reddits like the plague.
Oh yeah.
It's like when the episode first comes out. When an episode comes out, it's like, oh, I watched it, so pumped. Then I go look at all the silly stuff on Reddit, and then I don't go there. Like, I think Mahauer came to me. He's like, "Did you see the spoiler for this next episode, or whatever, for like the last episode?" And I'm like, "Nope." Hung up.
Nope.
On him. Just hung up on him on Skype. It's like, "Nope, bye." Goodbye.
Yeah.
Silly man shower.
Mahauer.
Yep.
All right, Mahauer.
So we're gonna wrap this up then.
Dreamy.
So catch us next week with our next spoiler cast for the next episode, which will be a lot of fun. Hopefully.
Say hi to me in the chat because I'm probably in the chat for this episode.
Hoy.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Pinky Dash. I mean Admo. I mean Joel. I mean Blue Horse.
Blue Horse. Lightning Horse.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tomorrow will be Christmas when this comes out.
Well, today for me.
Yeah, today for you. So, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas.
Enjoy your Christmas.
Yay!
Isn't it Morgan Christmas?
Morgan Freemas.
Morgan Freemas, and to all the good, and to all the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Lovely Mahauers and an open fire.
Mahauer roasting on an open fire.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. I'm FlutterGuy317.
I'm Miranda1.
I'm Admo Spark.
Bye, guys.
I was expecting Rainbow Plus 1.
I love you, Mahauer.